Welcome back everybody to the Meeple Marathon, and today we're going to be doing a playthrough, a solo playthrough of Role Player, but today we're going to be including not only the Monsters and Minions expansion, but the Fiends and Familiars expansion, which we just recently did an unboxing video for. So if you would like to see what all is involved with that expansion, you can check that out on the YouTube channel. And so I have already posted a video, kind of a how-to of a role player that rolls through the basic game and how to get through the basic game. So all I'm really going to cover here at the beginning of this video is what is added with the Monsters and Minions module, along with the Fiends and Familiars module. So Monsters and Minions added basically kind of two modules, you could say, that you could swap out and keep out if you wanted to. One is boost dice, and here is one. For example, you can see that some of these faces on the dice are actually higher than, I think it starts at 3. 3 is the lowest, and then it goes up to, I guess, yeah, 8. So this can take you higher than a standard 6-sided die, but you notice it has no color. They're always going to be clear, so it will never help you complete like your backstory or other traits and attributes that give you victory points for having certain color die. The other thing that they added, of course, was the Monsters and Minions that you can now fight. So this monster here is the Cyclops. He's the main monster that we're going to be attempting to fight today, and we're not going to worry about him until the very end of the game, after we have completed our character. But along the way, we will want to reveal these three, they're termed location, obstacle, and attack, but think of them as 3 weakness cards. And the more that we can unlock, the better chance we have of defeating the Cyclops, because we know how we want to build our character. Because a lot of them are like, oh, the more blue dice you have on your board, you get additional attack dice, things like that. So you want to unlock these as early as possible so that you can build your character to fight specifically against the Cyclops. Along the way, you unlock these 3 weaknesses by defeating minions. Now you can see here, say for example on the Dire Wolf card, that he has 3 levels of being defeated, I guess you could say, or they're really not, he's really not defeated until you roll a 9+, but he has 3 levels of rewards he might give you. You can see that if you roll a 1 through a 6, you're going to get an experience point, which is these little blue cubes, but you're also going to take a wound. Now if you can hit him for 7 to 8, he's going to give you 2 XP, but if you hit him for 9+, not only do you get the Dire Wolf as a trophy, which means you have defeated him, but you're going to get 3 XP. So anytime that you defeat a minion at its 3rd and highest level, where it says the trophy, that's when you get to reveal one of these cards. Normally in the game, a multiplayer game, you would earn one of these little tokens, the O, A, and the L token, which would allow you to peek at these anytime you wanted to, but you're going to keep them a secret from the other players in case they haven't gotten that far. In a solo game, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to flip them over once I have unlocked those things. So you can see that these first 2 levels give you stuff, sometimes even a wound, but unless you completely defeat them, that's when you pull them off and you get to keep them as a trophy. Otherwise, they're going to just rotate onto the bottom of the deck. So, excuse me, hold on one second. Oh, sorry about that. Had something caught in my throat. So when you're rolling combat against these guys, we're going to be rolling these smaller translucent orange dice. So there's no boost dice or anything like that. It's just straight D6s. Now, Fiends and Familiars has added also a decent amount of content to the game. The first thing is Fiends, which are represented by these little cards right here that fit on the bottom of certain initiative cards. So the more people you play with, the more Fiends will come out and hop on usually the end cards. If at any point I choose this third and final card for my dice, I have to take this Fiend and I stick it over here, and I have to deal with the negative effects. For example, this guy says when you buy a card, you must spend 1 additional gold. Okay, so it just makes life more difficult. So you are almost penalized double for going after that third card. Not only are you going to go last in the market phase, but you're going to have to deal with the Fiend. Now there are 2 ways to get rid of a Fiend. One is to spend 5 money, which you start the game with 5 money, but money is pretty precious. Or you can spend a charisma token. Now note that charisma tokens come out when you place a die into your charisma attribute row, but you only get them for a turn. So don't think that you can put a die in here, get this, and hold on to it to take care of a Fiend automatically. And one thing to note is that the Fiend text does not go into effect until after you have placed your dice and completed any attribute skills that you can complete, or gaining money, or filling out a row. It does not technically go into effect until the market phase and then on after that. So if it is a Fiend power that messes with like where you put dice, the Fiend power isn't going to go into effect until after you've placed the die that you picked up off of that card. So that's just something to keep up with. This Fiend will stay there until I pick it up, and at that point I will just flip over a new card. So there's a pretty decent stack of Fiend cards here, and I've only seen a couple of them up to this point because I certainly stay away from that card. The other part of the Fiends and Familiars is, of course, the Familiars, which adds this addition to your player board here. And it's essentially a companion, an animal companion that has their own 3 slots for dice, an own attribute skill that can be taken care of when you place dice into here. They've got their own power level, and most of them I have found are actually pretty small. Normally you're looking for 16 to 17, 18, 14 to 15, 14 plus, 14 plus, 15 to 16, pretty high numbers, whereas for example, our Ice Bear here, he only wants a power of 5 to 7, and if you hit that mark, you're going to get 2 stars. So the Familiars really adds a nice way to help you if you really want the card with the coin on it, or if you really want to make sure you go first in the market. It gives you a way to pull off those really cheap dice and get them on your board. But they also have their own, in a way, backstory here, where they're looking for specific colors of dice, and it's actually all 3 slots. And you can see the more you get, the more points you're going to get. So if you only get 1 slot matching, you're going to get no victory points. 2 slots matching equals 1, and 3 slots matching equals 3 victory points. So I really like that this power number stays low. It's a change of pace from what is usually up here. So I believe that covers everything. Again, I'll be kind of discussing the rules of roleplayer as we go along, but this is certainly not a tutorial video. This is just meant to be a playthrough so people can see what the Fiends and Familiars expansion looks like added onto the game. We are playing with Kaika, one of the newest expansion characters, the Emperor Penguin. And I did specifically pick the Ice Bear. I actually picked the Ice Bear because it was ice and a penguin. And I just thought that, it was interesting that people always say polar bears and penguins would never have met in the wild. And so I thought it was funny. I actually didn't even pay attention to what the bear's power was when selecting it. But this person allows me to upgrade the face value of a die on my character sheet by 2. Previous ones, like the wolf, for example, allows you to take either the Constitution or Dexterity action when you place the die in it. So all of them are beneficial. My Rogue here is going to allow me to use a skill card without moving my alignment marker. And I am essentially a rebellious rogue street urchin Emperor Penguin with a giant Ice Bear as an animal companion. So all the rest of this stuff was selected randomly except for my penguin and my bear, which I wanted to play with and show off. So, alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You do now get to, previously I was only dealing out 3 market cards per round in the base game, but if Monsters and Minions and Fiends and Familiar, we're actually bumping it up to 4 because there is such a huge stack of market cards. And one thing real quick that I did learn is that you do remove 40 cards from the deck at the beginning, which is pretty standard. I believe Monsters and Minions was having you pull off 18 at the 2-player or solo level. But for Fiends and Familiars, you pull them all off the top, which means they're all going to be 1-dot items, and we're never going to get through all of them, so we're never going to see what's at the bottom of the deck. There's probably going to be another 40 cards here left at the bottom. I thought that was interesting. The designer said that that was on purpose because it just reduces one extra step from counting out 40 cards off the top or the bottom of the deck. And having a really tall discard pile. So that is the only real drawback. It's always fun to see new things, new items in the market, but this market deck now is pretty big and there's no way to really remove cards out of it because anytime one of them could be helpful. So, alright, I have gone ahead and placed my original 6 dice. We are a black character, so we'll be looking to put black dice on our character sheet. And also, one last thing is that we are actually going to be rolling 2 dice per initiative card in the beginning until we get to this Call for Adventure card that's been seeded into the deck. That, I guess, basically is because they didn't want the game to move on too much longer with the Fiends and Familiars. There must have been some playtesting done that I guess you could become too powerful for the monsters. I'm not sure, but it does keep the game length at pretty much the same. But what you're going to see here is that we're going to be placing 2 dice per initiative card, and we continue to stack them up, in numerical order. I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to put both of them onto my sheet, but I only get to do 1 action, which is another thing that I feel like they shortened the game, but sometimes, some of these actions are very useful. So these early rounds are almost annoying in my opinion. So let's decide what we want to pick here. Oh gosh, so I don't need any of these color. I need a black one to go right here. And I need a white one. Clear is not going to help me. Obviously those high numbers could be very helpful. I know there's a few cards like Malicious that's going to give me bonus points for low dice per se, but I have done a playthrough and filmed it going after this, what I would guess you could call malicious strategy, and I don't think it's very viable. It's like shooting the moon or something. You could attempt to do it and it could be really successful, but it is very hard to do. I guess it's probably more easier to do if you're playing multiplayer and always giving up your picks of the dice to other people, but I'm always going to get the first pick of the dice here, so in a solo game. I'm very tempted to go after the middle ones, but let's see here. I'm going to have to get to 18, and so I need a 7 right here, because this is going to be 6, 6, and 7 will be 19, and this is going to be a -1. And this is my most important row to get that number correct, because it's worth 4 points. So I believe I am actually going to go after that Fiend card and just kind of deal with that card for the moment. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these 2 cards, and I'm also going to have to take this Fiend card. So I'm going to, again, I get to place both of these, but I only get to take 1 action. So I think what I'm going to do here is... Alright, Constitution, no. Wisdom, I could probably live with. Or Charisma. Okay, so, nope, don't want to put it there. Okay, so I definitely want to put this here, and I'm going to use this action as my one action, and I'm actually going to flip-flop these two dice. So now my blue matches up with my street urchin. I could put this here, but again, I'm losing out on my ability to flip-flop a die, which could be very helpful, but I think I actually am going to stick it here. I don't get to flip-flop this die, which is why I put it here, because I'm hoping it will become a 6, but I'll just stay away from 1s and 2s, I guess, down the road. So there are my two dice. Now, in the dice rolling works a little bit differently in Friends and Familiars, especially with the double dice at the beginning. What they're going to do, and I'll show you the chart here, is you can see here you're going to roll both die if you pick off that third card, and then depending on what it is, it's either the first, second, third, fourth card, or it's going to flip a monster out of the way. So I picked from the third, so I'm going to roll both of these dice in, and we have a 1 and a 6. So this is going to be trashed, and this, they're technically taking on the dire wolf, and so that goes to the bottom, and we get to see the owlbear. Okay, so that's what the AI player did essentially. So all cards that are over here off the mat are the trash pile. These represent cards that are in other players' hands, and I have no ability to access them. This, however, is the discard pile, and certain cards may allow me to access the discard pile. So, now, the question is, what do I want to spend my money on? I want to be up here in this upper right corner. I could grab this. I'd have to pay 4 for it because of my fiend. But it would allow me to banish a fiend every time, but it's also sending me the wrong direction. Or also, I have my leather boots, and I am a black class rogue. So this is the armor set that I pretty much want to go after. So I'm going to go ahead and pay my 4 coins, take this card, and I will put it down here. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This card goes in the discard pile, the leftmost card, and then this one gets lost as if it was picked up. So there you have it. These are going to go back into the bag. And another fiend's going to come out. Alright, this fiend reads, when you place a die on the intuition or wisdom attribute row, gain 2 injury tokens. Ooh. And this one's completely empty. And this one, and you can have more than one fiend at a time. Again, to get rid of it, I either have to spend a charisma token or 5 gold, which I just spent a good chunk of my gold. So let's see what the market looks like. Loyal. I'm always trying to go after getting all my attribute goals, so that's always something to go after. Runic Signet. These are great armor sets. These are new to this expansion, and they're armor set that doesn't go with a specific class, but each specific item in the armor set gives you bonuses towards one of your rows. So could be very handy for, say, if I can find one with the strength row. Alright, so let's see here. It really doesn't matter what, gain 1 charisma token. This is helpful. That's actually very helpful. Might be looking to go after that one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Alright, so, ooh, man, really roll low numbers here. Okay. So, this last thing I don't think I talked about are these split dice. You can see that this die actually has 2 different colors on it. So it represents a red die and a purple die for the purposes of filling in your backstory colors. But since they are like a 2-colored die and are more easily placed in here. They actually only go 1 to 4. I don't know what the distribution is, but it's not a true 6-sided die. You'll never get a 6 on the on those dice. So let's think about this, what we want to do. Thinking maybe this one for 2 reasons. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to get a coin for finishing off my dexterity row, so I should have 2. Alright, I want to get charm, because this will help me get rid of my fiends here, and I can be less worried about taking those dice. I can also start on my ice bear here, and yeah, and it'll give me less of a chance of losing out on somebody stealing this charm from me. So this is what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna take this and put it here, and I'm gonna take this guy and put it now. The question is, can I use this skill as soon as I purchase it? Because right now I cannot. I need to take this, but I cannot afford this card with this guy. So actually I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go right here with this one and take the charisma token here, which I am going to immediately spend back again to get rid of the fiend card. And I'm just gonna flip it upside down because you do get some rewards for doing that. So now, since I took from the 2 spot, I'm only gonna roll 1 AI die, and they're gonna take 1, 2, 3. Whew, very close, but they're taking the ancient spear, which leaves the charm for me to take. All right, so that's a skill that I get to have, and this one gets discarded. This one is lost, and these all go back into the bag. Oops. Refill this, refill our market. All right, there you go. And let me go find that die I just dropped. Okay, so let's get started with the next round. We're still doing 6 dice total, and there's a black one. Alright, so we needed the black one. Let's hope it rolls nice. Okay, alright. So those 2 will go there. Those 2 there. And 2 6s. So when you place a die in the initiative or wisdom attribute row, gain 2 injury tokens, but I can pretty much get rid of my fiend very quickly. So I think we're gonna go for this one. Obviously we wanted a high 6, so we will have to take the fiend here, and we are gonna take this one here obviously, and Constitution probably is gonna go right here, and I will take I can go up or down on any one die. So this one's set, right at 18. This one's gonna need some work though. This one's gonna need some work too. So this one's gonna need more work. All right, so we've done that. We took the 3rd card, so we have to roll both of these now. And we are losing this one. I was actually considering that one, and this one. So lots of stuff taken away from us. All right, so at this point, I don't have any money to spend anyways. So I think we're going to be attacking the owlbear. So first of all, I'm going to use my skill here, which is going to allow me to gain a charisma token. I will move this up because this is an option, and moving it up right now helps me. And I will just basically spend that charisma token right away to get rid of the fiend. Okay, so at this point, since there are no cards that I care to purchase, nor can I afford. I could discard one of these cards to gain 2 coins, but instead I'm going to fight this minion here. So normally I get automatically 1 combat die to roll, but this one also says +1 combat die for each purple die on your character sheet. So I have 2 more purple die, so I actually get to roll 3, and I'm only looking for an 8+ to get that trophy. So let's see what we get here, and it is 10. So easily 8+. I'm going to gain a blue XP token and an honor token. So this is simply going to give me +1 towards my hit points against the Cyclops at the end of the game. All right. So the owlbear we get to keep as a trophy, so we'll stick it down there. And that is the end of our turn. This one goes to the discard pile, and then this one is lost. These are going to come back. And we need a new fiend. Alright, this one says you cannot banish your other fiend cards. Interesting. Fiend of Collusion. Okay. So I guess I can banish him, though. And once I banished him, I could banish others. So, and at the end of every turn, you're allowed to refresh one skill. I only have 1 to refresh, so we'll refresh that one. We will refresh the market here. And at some point here, we're going to be seeing the Call to Adventure card. There it is. Okay. So, at the end of this round, we will actually discard this card from the market and replace from the market deck. Yeah. So, not sure why it appeared right there. I think it should have been one more below, but anyways. So we do one more round of doubles. No. Because yeah, it should have come up here. Yeah. So we're just gonna do 3 rounds because I think I miscounted. Should only be about 3 rounds of double dice. Alright, so there's our dice. We're gonna roll. Tuck this one back in. Okay. Lots of low numbers here. Alright, so let's look and see what we could use on our sheet. I don't, not here yet, and I've got all of these. I could use a purple one. That's a low number, so I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to take our purple here, put it there, take the coin, and now I can increase the value of any die by 2. So I think I'm going to increase this one by 2 and take it up to a 6. Yeah. Okay. Good. Alright, so I rolled the middle one. So I roll out 1 die, and the 3 is going to be taken from me. Okay, at this point I only have 1 money. Forgot to flip over a new minion. And so I think, again, I am going to go after... now see, I could use my skill to gain a charisma token, which would allow me to purchase climb. Before or after selecting an initiative card, flip all dice in your dice pool to their... Flip all the dice in the dice pool to their opposite sides and reorder them. Now that's interesting. Oh, and I forgot to flip over this. I'm sorry. Some of you watching the video are probably yelling at me because I defeated the owlbear at the trophy level. I get to reveal that the Cyclops, I will gain an extra combat die if I meet my familiar's power goal. So right now I'm at 4 and I have 5 to 7. So this can be a 1, 2, or a 3, and I will hit that that goal to get an extra combat die. Alright, so I don't think I really need that. I think I want to go ahead, and I pretty much can guarantee that I'm going to defeat the ooze, because I get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my very first one, 5 dice against the ooze. So just like last time, I'm just going to roll these out. And I got way more than 9. Not even going to bother counting. So I get 2 coins for the ooze. I get 1 XP. Alright, and 1 honor token. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here, and I get to reveal this next one. The player with the most active Fiend cards gains 2 combat dice. Okay, so this one, you know, some people say that you should remove ones like that from the game, but I think it's too difficult for me to go through and pull out cards that don't work so much for a solo game. So if I just have 1 active Fiend at the end of the game, I will earn 2 more combat dice. So that is actually going to give me reasoning to actually get this one, because it really is not going to hurt me very much. So, alright, that's the end of the round. Let's pull these back. This will go to the discard pile. These 2 go here. More market cards. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I won't be doing that because my familiar score is going to be way low for every 2 minion trophies you have. So this one would be good if I can just keep beating up on minions. This one is going to give me +1 towards my strength score, which right now is suffering a little bit. I'm hoping to flip this one to a 6. But then unless this is also a 5 or a 6... Oh, and we have a -1, so this one needs to be at least a 6. So this one isn't looking too bad. Okay, +1 to all dice of your class color. So this one would also work because, no, I'm black now, I'm sorry. So I would need to put a black die here, so that's a little bit more difficult. Okay, enough talking. Let's see what we're gonna roll. Okay, a boost die. Put coin out. Okay, the boost die have not been very boosty today. Okay, so let's see, which one do we want to take here? I could go ahead and just do my charisma, finish that off with a green. That would put me at 14. So I would need a way to boost it up by 1. Oh, that's going to give me that. Or that's going to get me money. I could put the 3 red here and then re-roll this one, hoping for a better score. Might do that. That would give me some more gold. But I've got the green. 12, 14. And I would only need to flip this one up 1, which I can do right here or right here. So I think we're going to go with the green. Okay, that's going to gain us a gold for finishing out this row. And I'm going to get a charisma token that I'll put right there. Alright. I could technically tap this for another charisma token. To my knowledge, you can have more than 1. And yeah, I need to take this, but this guy really isn't that bad. So I need to roll both of these in, and we get 2 2s. So in this instance, I need to re-roll one of them until they don't match. So a 2 and a 5. Alright, so the long sword is being taken. And then this one should have been up, which is this satire, but their 5 is going to say they attacked it and push it to the bottom. So now we're dealing with a giant crab. +1 combat die for each adventure token you have, which we have 2, essentially. So I would get to roll 3, so that guy's pretty easy as well. Okay, so the question is, do I purchase the runic bracelet? I think I am, because that's going to make this one very difficult to get to without it. So I have 2 charisma tokens I'm going to spend, so this is only going to cost me 2 money. Taking the runic bracelet to go along with my leather boots. And this one will go discard, we lose this one. These 2 will come back. Okay. Another Fiend up. This one says you cannot select dice of your class color unless no other dice are available. Okay, more market cards, leather gloves, so I want those. You banish all your Fiend cards, runic necklace. Okay, Constitution +1. Right now I'm at 10, and I'm trying to get to 14 through 15, so that one's not hard. I think we're going to go after the leather gloves. They're also cheaper. Okay, tap that back. All right, so let's get some dice. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, big numbers this time. Big numbers. All right. So this one has to go there, and then I get to decide which of these I'm going to put out, and it really doesn't matter. I'm wondering, though, if this guy does not like green dice, so I think what we're going to do is actually do this. All right. I'm going to take this one and the coin, and I'm going to put it... Where am I going to put it? 9 right there. Or I could put it right there. That one's got to be a 6, right? Yeah. Let's put it here. We knew we wanted to use that to flip this one. So now we're at 12, 17. Because this is -1, but this is +1. So that one's good. We completed that row. So we get another coin. Okay, took from the middle, roll 1 die, 1, 2. Okay, perfect. We wanted our leather gloves anyways. Yeah, because it's harder to get more points out of the, 3 pieces of armor is pretty standard. I'm only getting 4 stars here. I'm getting 5 stars if I do the leather gloves. So I'm going to tap this to gain a charisma token. I'm just going to use it right away to only spend 2 on the leather gloves. So we'll keep those together. All right, good, good. This is gonna go here, so you could see it again. Put some money up here, refill the market. Okay, so this one says, instead of purchasing from the market, you may purchase a card from the market discard pile. So, for example, we could come over here and purchase this for runic necklace. That might be interesting. Tap you back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got 4. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, all right. Let's see here. Okay, 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so I could actually use the one right there. And then purchase move silently. Man. I also at some point need to go after a minion here to gain more stuff. But that move silently is very intriguing. Spend 1 XP to increase the value of 1 die on your character sheet by 1. Ooh, that's almost even better. Gosh. Technically, if I purchase this, I could go back and purchase that. Okay, so we're going to take this. Since I picked from the first one, I don't have to roll any of these dice. I can tap this to gain 1 charisma token, so that's actually... oh wait, I finish this attribute row. Hold on. So I can gain a coin. And now I can increase any face value die by 2. I think we'll go with this one here. Yeah, because we're good here, right? 12 and 14 plus... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, because I only need this to increase by 1, so better get a better head start with that. Okay, all right, we did that. Now I can gain my charisma token, and I think we are going to spend our money all on move silently. Okay, and then this one goes here. These 2 are taken. That was a pretty quick round. Okay. New market cards, the backpack. This is a new backpack. Somewhere in here, I haven't come across it yet, is the old backpack. If I find it, I'm just gonna take it out. Instead of placing a die, you may store it on this card. You may place stored dice at any time. So that's nice if like I get a red one here that I will know I want in the future. Tremor. Immediately gain, lose XP equal to the current position of the tracking token on your alignment card, which is 1. Positive 1, so I could gain 1 XP. Relentless. Gain 3 if you earned 8 during monster combat. 8 stars, so I'd have to get 29 plus. Don't know about that. I think this might be a good round for... This one looks kind of like a watermelon. For fighting off the giant crab. Okay, so... This one definitely has to go here, and then the question is, which could I use more? And... yeah, I think we're just going to stick it there. Which is fine. Should have been able to tap this. Okay, so I don't have any money, so I'm not really too concerned about the player with the most active fiend cards. So I need to keep this guy up. I don't want to banish him. There's nothing really there. I want to purchase. This one's intriguing, but I need to. It's only going to gain me 1 XP. If I had moved my alignment marker over, then that would be different. So, okay, let's go after the giant crab. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3. I'm shooting for a 10 plus. I can also spend one of these to re-roll the combat die. Yep, I would need a third one to get an extra die. So let's see what we get here. Not a guarantee, but we got there. 5, 9, 11. Okay, so we have defeated the giant crab. We're going to get 2 more XP and 2 more honor tokens. Alright, and we get to reveal this third and final one, which says all players gain 2 combat dice for each skill or trait card they have with a left arrow. Okay, so now I know what we need to be going after here. We've met this one, we will meet this one, so now left arrow skill cards. Okay. This one is going to go in the discard pile, and these 3... Wait, I never took a die. Well, I wasn't purchasing anything anyways. I was too caught up. I'm going to do this. And put you right here. Reroll this one. Okay, so there you go. This one is now... Oh no, this one might be too high. This one's 12, 17, so I actually need to still tick this one down. Oh no, okay. So I'm gonna have to use that to tick it down. Or I could use this to re-roll it. Ooh, decisions. Okay, these come back. Alright, so I don't need to defeat any more minions in order to have the best shot at beating the Cyclops, but anytime I can gain some XP tokens would be super helpful. So, 1, 2, 3. All right, some very low numbers here. 1, 2, 3. This one gets coin. Market cards. Gain 1 for every 2 gold dice. Leather greaves. Okay. So in order to get the leather greaves, I am going to need some money here. I'm going to need to finish out a row. Oh gosh, let's see. Constitution. If I take that one and complete one of these rows, then I will get to... Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I really do not want that guy. Although I'd have to get rid of this guy and then keep him for the end of the game. But I really want my leather greaves, and the only way to do that is to come stick him down there. Okay. Alright, so let's take this, put it right here. That's going to give us a coin from here and a coin from here. I can tick this down now, which I needed to do to get back down to 16. Okay, now I need to roll 1 die, and they're going to take the crocodile out, leaving the giant beetle. Ooh, now see, if I defeat him, instead of getting XP or anything else, I can flip, say for example, this to the 5 side. So that might be pretty handy, although I don't have very many dice with a value of 3 or 4. Actually, I have 1, 2, 3, so that'd give me 4 dice to get to 15. That's not bad. Worst case, I'm getting 3 money out of it. Okay, alright, so they did that, so I can tap this to get my charisma, spend my 3 to get my leather greaves. Okay, for now, you are going to go up here. Fit everything in there. Okay. Alright, so I took that, and now we are good to go. Right? Right. Okay, these 2 are going to go away. This one's going to go here. These 2 come back. We're getting very close. Just 3 more rounds here to the end of the game. Alright, I can bring this back. I can put more of these out. Leather, leather, leather. Warhammer. When resolving the obstacle card, gain double the benefit. And the obstacle is this one, so I could get 4 combat dice. I don't know how I'm going to get there though. Okay. Alrighty. 2, 5, and 6. So this isn't so bad because I could get like 3 gold out of this. Purchase the Warhammer straight up. Okay. You gain 2 XP for each active fiend card you have. Nope, don't want that. Fearless would be awesome, but I don't have the money. Don't need a chain tunic. Okay. So, yeah. 6, 10, 14, 15. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do this. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to place this. That's actually going to give me 2 money, I believe, right? 2 money, hold on. Let me just confirm. 2 money or 1 money? Dice are moved. Only players slash 2 card. He gains the gold on the card and places the gold die from the card into the row. He gains 2 more gold for placing a gold die. Okay, yep. So I picked up that, and now I get 1 for completing my row. I get to re-roll a die, so we're just going to take a shot at this one. 4. Okay, so this one's 14. That's actually right where we need it to be. Constitution 14 to 15. Okay, this one is 11 and yep, that's 15, so that's higher. This one is 17, 18, yep, -1, so this one's good. And this is 17, -1, -1. Okay, so this one's good. So everything is good right now. Charisma is 12 and 16. All right, so everything checks off. We just need to make sure, try and get wisdom to set up correctly. Okay, so we got lots of money out of that. So let's see what the AI does against us. He's going to take fearless, of course, but I am going to gain a charisma token and spend 2 on the Warhammer. All right, so let's shove you back over, get everything in its proper spot. So we can put that right there. Okay. All right. This one will go here. This one goes here. Halberd. Attack card gains double benefit. Nope. Okay. All right. This is the first one I've seen that's have the left arrow that we need. So maybe go after focused. And I could even gain 2 stars because I have 3 greens in that row. So that's not a bad idea here. Okay. All right. Need to replace you. This is going here. And then purple and or green, it doesn't matter. So, I'll just stick with green. Okay. All right. So I'm pretty sure we're going to take this one here, gain a money. Put our 6 down here, which we can move over. Tick. That was pretty straightforward. Now, let's see what the AI is going to do. And they're going to get rid of the giant beetle, which is okay. Ice worm. All right. Let's see, that could gain me a decent amount of XP, but I do want this one. So we will tap this, gain our charisma token, spend our 3 money on focused, which is going to go down here, which is going to push our thing back over here, which is fine because my wisdom can push it back over 1 more time to finish the game. This one will go in the discard pile. These 2 get lost. These go away. Replace this. And this is going to be our last turn before we take on the Cyclops. So, let's see here. Nothing else that's going left. Alright. I have a 2-handed weapon and I want to keep that one. So there's really nothing here that's worth it for me to purchase. So, the last thing we really want here is a red die. 1, 2, 3. Didn't get it. Okay. Now that's fine. Bring you back. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 6, 1, and 1. Alright, so this one's gonna have to be, because this is 11, only 1 would get me to 12. That's fine. So we go right here. We get to move this over. Oh, unfortunately I only have one other red one and it was right here. But I'm not gonna have the opportunity to flip-flop them. Okay, so I don't want to +1 combat card for each banished fiend card you have, which is 2. So I'm gonna get to roll 3 here. Hopefully I don't, I've got some rerolls I can use. Might spend one of them. Alright, 4 and 4. I'm gonna spend 1 XP to reroll this 3. And I got it. Okay, 8 and 5 is 13. So we did exactly what we needed to. 1 more trophy. It's gonna give me actually 3 more XP and 2 more honor tokens. Okay, so feeling better now. Okay, so this is all complete now, but before we count up our final score, we have got to take on the Cyclops here. So let's just move the Cyclops into the middle and we'll count this up. So I automatically get 1 dice. Now, I don't have any injury tokens, so I don't have to worry about his special effect. I'm going to get 1 for meeting my familiar's power goal. I'm going to gain 2 for having an active... No, look at this. Because this should have come down here because I took that card. I'm going to get... Okay, 2. Yeah, it doesn't change. 2 for having the most fiend cards, but... Where was it? When resolving the obstacle, which is this one, double the benefit. So I get 2 more. Okay? Then all players gain 2 combat dice for each skill or trait card they have with a left arrow. So that's only this one, unfortunately. And then I'm going to spend my... I'm going to spend 3 to gain 1 more. This gives me 3 reroll opportunities. Okay? So let's go ahead and chuck all these down and see if we want to reroll any of them. Okay, so yes. We're going to be re-rolling you guys and keeping you all. Okay, so I'm going to spend 2 because I can't get any worse than 1s. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to spend this last one to re-roll this one. Okay, same results. Okay, so now we pretty much just count up our final score here. So that's 4, 10, 18, 28, and that's going to be 34. So we did get it. We got 8+ for defeating the Cyclops, which is pretty good. Alright, so let's take our little die here and just start counting. We'll take the monster first. We got 8 for defeating the Cyclops. Then we'll go to our attribute goals, and we hit all of them. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more. So that'll take us to 20. Alright, class color dice. I'm black, so I get 1, 2 more. Alignment card, I get +3, so we're up to 25. Backstory card, unfortunately, I was 1 off, so I'm only going to get 3 points for that. That kind of hurts. Armor cards, so I have 3 sets of the leather, or 3 pieces of the leather boots. So that's going to give me 5 plus 1 because I'm in the black class. So 6 more. So 34. And I have 1 piece of the Runic armor. And so I get 1 for that. Alright. And then trait cards, which down here gain 2 for each attribute row with 3 dice of the same. Oh, I thought this was color. No, I don't get anything for that. I read this as color. I thought I was going to get this here. But I don't have any that are all the same. This one's close. And this one's very close. And this one's very close. So I actually don't get anything. So I only ended up with 35 points, which, let's see, according to the original game, that was a clan leader. But using all of the expansions, that's only getting me Luminary right here. So, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Even though this is essentially just a beat your own score game, I do love the puzzle aspect of, you know, how to place your dice and get them all maximized. I do love adding in the going and fighting the monsters, because sometimes it's just boring to chuck a card from the market and just gain 2 gold. I've definitely played some games. Oh, and look, I even had all these, which would have given me 6 more, so I was, what, at 34? I would have hit him for 40 points. I would have crushed that guy. Where's the 10-point marker? Anyways, yeah, it's just a nice addition. If you were to purchase the base game and were considering just either or one of the expansions, I would definitely go for Fiends and Familiars, because Fiends and Familiars included some new monsters, some new minions. It includes enough XP dice to play. It includes enough orange combat dice to play. So you're actually getting a little bit of the Monsters and Minions expansion in the Fiends and Familiars box. So, you know, that's kind of a no-brainer. Unless you just are really turned off by the Fiends and Familiars modules that are added into the game, then, and you want a higher variety of monsters and minions, then go for the monsters and minions. But honestly, the only thing you're not getting if you purchase Fiends and Familiars is the boost dice, these ones here that go up to 8. Other than that, you can play everything I just did with the Fiends and Familiars expansion. So I highly recommend this. I highly recommend it for anybody that's a long-term role player fan, because it just adds a little bit more to the game. It's not overly complicated. And yeah, it continues to, these expansions continue to add depth to the game without changing the way the game is played. And I think that is the way expansions should work. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the solo playthrough of Role Player with the Monsters and Minions and Fiends and Familiars expansion, the full game, as far as I know, that will exist. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel, because it helps me out a bunch. And for you, it's just a single click. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great night.